Welcome, everybody, to the Raw Report, episode 42. I am your host, Jerry Jericho, along with my co-host, the Bolivian Siberian, straight out of Fairfax, Virginia, and Bones Santana, straight out of the Polo and College Football League, and our special guest today, projected Rookie of the Year, straight out of the College Football League, Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Raw Report. It's been a crazy week 2. And I gotta say, guys, the headliner of it all, you know, it's just been filled with drama. Guys, the mountain of IR players that are completely out. I mean, where do I start here, man? Everybody's team is pretty much ruined here. There's so many starters on IR now, guys, that it's almost unexplainable. Guys, but before we get it started, make sure you drop a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit us up on Instagram at Raw Fantasy Sports. Ryan, what do you think about this this dilemma here that we got going on in week 2, man?
I mean, it's just shambles right now. I mean, any team, any round, seems like they're all going down. It's an epidemic out here of just absolutely league-shattering injuries. You're talking multiple first, second-round picks that are now at least 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, you got heads of teams like Tua that, I mean, we don't know if he even plays again. Yeah, this is going to decide who wins and loses right here.
We're at a loss for words here, gentlemen. Everyone's team that they crafted, spent the offseason looking at drills, looking at OTAs, just went down in shambles in the first 2 weeks of the fantasy season. So anybody that had that late round pick with Puka, AJ Brown dealing with injuries. First overall pick, Christian McCaffrey. Who knows when he's going to be back? They just placed him on IR, and they're looking into it, seeing if it was something where they disclosed or did not disclose, like some kind of injury preseason. But other big names, I mean, look at besides Puka, they're on the Rams, Cooper Kupp. So who's Stafford going to throw to? You know, Kyron Williams is gonna reap all of those short passes. So whoever picked him up, you know, bully for you. But yeah, it's bad out there.
Like many other players out there, you know, I drafted Jordan Love. I believed in Jordan Love. And with 8 seconds left in a meaningless week 1 game, I lose him. Immediately, I already think, damn, my fantasy league is in shambles, because all 3 leagues that I'm in, Jordan Love throughout the board. Ooh. I was all in on Jordan Love.
No love lost.
And look what happens. And then, within 4 days, Thursday Night Football, my real-life team, Tua, goes down. You're looking at a broken man, hurt man.
And that was a tough one to watch.
That was tough. That was tough. And of all people that he runs into, Damar Hamlin.
The
NFL script writer fucked with that one.
Terrible, man. I mean, I hope Tua's okay. They announced that he's going to be out a minimum 4 games today. Jordan Love, he's going to be out another 3 to 6 weeks with the MCL sprain. Isaiah Pacheco on IR with a fractured fibula
for the year. I'm not buying that whole he'll be
6
back.
to 8 weeks. Hey, a broken bone is easier to come back to than a soft tissue injury, like
100%.
like a hamstring, like AJ Brown. They can't even give him a timetable because it's just when it feels better. So anybody got AJ Brown, Jettas with a quad issue. He said he's gonna be okay, but those soft tissue injuries linger. You know, once you heal a bone, you heal a bone. Speaking of bone, bones
do not start.
I love the headgear. And I know it's keeping your tears, keeping your face dry from all the tears after that.
That's exactly what I'm doing it for.
But speaking of wins, the Commanders, formerly known as the Redskins, kicking 7 field goals with a brand new kicker over the bum-ass Giants was nice to watch. Just had to throw that in there.
By the way, guys, we still have our search and rescue party looking for Mr. Xavier Gutierrez, who we're wishing a very happy birthday this week. We're still looking for you, buddy. And as soon as we find you, we'll give you a quick rundown about the New York Giants over there.
Yeah, we'd like
back to the injury.
Hold on.
Guys.
I want to give Andre his shout out because one of the most trending transactions on the waiver wire was the Giants defense, because everyone and their mothers thought they were going to put a spanking on the Redskins. But you guys pulled it off. 7 field goals, but y'all pulled it off.
No touchdowns. You got to give them some credit for that one. Yeah. 0 touchdowns.
0 touchdowns. They got 3 touchdowns scored on them, and they still won the game.
Exactly right.
Only the New York football bums could do that.
First time since 1959 has that feat happened on the football field.
I don't even know what to say. No idea. That was a good year. I was there.
Listen, nobody's more in shambles right now than the Los Angeles Rams, man. Puka Nacua, PCL on IR, and Cooper Kupp with a high ankle sprain. So, I was calling for the Rams to be a contender this year, but with these type of injuries, I don't see them doing much. You got Keenan Allen that's also week to week right now. And as you mentioned, the difference between, like a broken bone and a soft tissue injury, Andre, it's crazy, man, because these injuries are going to take time to heal. I had T. Higgins on my team, and he's week to week, and now Jamar Chase is in there, but he's also not doing much. We'll get to that in a second. Evan Ingram, man, he got injured during warm-ups. Right before the game, we have to do a special commissioner's request to make some substitutions in one of our leagues there. It's just been crazy. David Njoku, Tyson Hill, Jake Ferguson, I mean, you name it. Joe Mixon is out.
Yeah, that hip drop tackle that they've been trying to prevent all year long.
They looked at that.
They do it on national television, the only game on, and no penalty, no nothing. The guy comes out of the tent with the helmet. You think he's fine. Next thing you know, Cam Akers, another former Ram, all of a sudden carrying the rock. And by the way, you gotta love that broadcasting call. Joe Mixon has never fumbled the ball. Right? They announced that on national television. Then Cam Akers, boom, see ya. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about another divine intervention like DeMar Hamlin possibly ending Tua. I mean, as a Dolphin fan, that's just
bro. I hate how I got on Twitter and there was a meme with DeMar Hamlin with a 50 Cent quote that killed me, and it said, he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing. I was like, oh my god, don't do this.
It was rough.
I don't know what timeline I'm living in, guys, but
nah, it's the memes. So it's the memes, man.
Memes hurt more than words.
Memes hurt more.
This is 2024. Memes hurt more than words. It's the
meme game. I saw the one where the white dude is outside of his car and he's like, "Call the ambulance! Call the ambulance!"
But not
for me.
Terrible.
It's terrible, man.
Buddy.
So moving on to week 2 recap, guys. It was a hell of a week, aside from the, obviously from the injuries that occurred. We kicked off the week with the Bills and Dolphins. The Bills got away with it 31-10. And Cook ended up scoring 3 touchdowns to help the Bills out and get that W. What do you think about that, Bones? Let's go to our Dolphins correspondent here, Mr. Bone Santana.
It's only right that you happen to be a Redskins fan, because you are truly swine through and through, my friend.
I love pork. Can't lie. Have you ever had pork belly, Korean pork belly? That shit is fire. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. No, it's kosher. It's kosher.
Come on, you don't see the Juno syndrome over here? I'm trying to hide it on the screen, but
anywho, yeah, it was a terrible game. It's all this talk about passing of the torch of the AFC East, and Buffalo came and just bullied everybody, bullied Tua into a concussion. I don't want to speak more about this subject. I feel like it's been ripped apart. It's all that they talked about for Friday and Saturday until NFL Sunday came along. Like I said, I've been saying it for years. The league should get rid of Thursday Night Football. It's not fair to these players, but due to these Amazon contracts, that's not going away anytime soon. So, yeah.
12 out of the last 13, Bones.
1-12 against Buffalo in the last
1-12. And the one win was ended with Milano cheap shot on Tua that started this whole problem that we end up getting now. 2 seasons later, we might have seen the last of them.
Yikes.
Let's see. I hope
I
not.
hope not.
I hope not. He said that he wants to come back. The earliest that he's going to come back is week 8 versus Arizona. And you know what's funny? You know who our next opponent is after week 8? Buffalo. At Buffalo.
Yep.
So let's
We'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes, man. I hope he's all right. In my opinion, I think he should call it a day. That's way too many hits to the head. And every time that he's gone down, he looks terrible. It looks awful.
Yeah, he's out there fucking throwing gang signs
We
and
have
shit.
we have Hall of Famers calling for for his retirement, man. And they know a thing or two because those guys played during an era where they did much worse. You know what I mean? And Tua, in my opinion, has always been an undersized quarterback in the NFL. I think he fits the minimum requirement for the league. I don't think he has much of a body presence. But I hope that he's all right, man, and hopefully he makes the right decision. He's probably not going to take the retirement route. It's probably going to take some sort of doctor or medical professional for him to get to stop playing football altogether. But hopefully it works out for the Dolphins, man. I know that the fans out there that had Tyreek Hill on their roster and Jalen Waddle on their roster and Achane on their roster. I know everybody's suffering out there with now you guys have no quarterback. They have no intention of signing Ryan Tannehill. Okay, nope. And Skylar Thompson is your backup?
Yes. And now Tyler Huntley as well. Former Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley.
We'll see how that works out, man. I honestly thought that they were going to get Ryan Tannehill off the couch, maybe offer Tom Brady $20 million for half a season, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Nope.
I would offer Tom Brady the farm. Everything.
How about that 15% ownership stake?
Make it 25.
After a Super Bowl win, I'd give him 50.
Make it 25. I will tell the Williams sisters, hey, give me your share. It's going to Brady immediately.
All right. I'm really excited because as a fan of the top superior team in the NFC East, I love to see the Cowboys lose. I love it with all my heart. The Saints, 44-19. Alvin Kamara, who I had on my fantasy team, balled out, baby. Gave me 40-plus points. And I went 4-0 this weekend, guys. I'm stoked. All right. New Orleans came out on top. Of course, they start the season off 2-0, an unexpected 2-0 under Derek Carr. What have you?
Who's leading the league in passer rating, QBR, yards, touchdowns.
No, he had himself a game. He had himself a good game. He didn't throw that much, 11 of 16, but for those 11 throws, 243 yards, that's good stuff. And who's breaking out? Rashid Shaheed, bro. That was like a mid to late round pick, but you know they don't have anyone else there. He was expected to be the guy to step up, and boy, has he stepped up. So anyone that took a chance on him with the later round draft pick, you know, good for you. Olave is not doing much. Nope. I mean, Olave was supposed to be the guy. Rashid Shaheed step up as the second, and he's taken over. He's taken over that wide receiver core. But Alvin Kamara does Kamara things. I had him the year that I won the championship, and it was kind of due to performances like this. So Jerry, enjoy him. I will give you the farm for him right now. I'm actually sending you a trade right now. Hold on, guys.
I need half your team, Andre. Send me trades.
I'm sending you all the top players from all my leagues.
Don't forget about Kamara's 3 touchdowns. Let's get it, baby. Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Detroit Lions, and they're off to an impressive 2-0. I see Baker Mayfield doing his thing, even though he didn't do much in this game here in particular. The Lions took a loss because Jared Goff threw for 300 yards, no touchdowns. So they came out on top, Tampa Bay 20-16 to start 2-0. And everybody's hyped about Baker, man. I know you picked him up, Bones, right after Jordan Love went down with his injury.
I mean, I think the big story out of that game, yeah, Baker, it's great. It's wonderful. To be honest with you, the target differentiation from the Lions. I mean, we're talking 17 to Amon-Ra, who also goes down with some sort of soft tissue injury. Have they disclosed that as high ankle? Have they disclosed that as regular ankle sprain?
He hasn't practiced yet this week. All I know is that fantasy wise, that speaks real well for all the Jameson Williams believers out there.
11 targets as well.
Yeah, his coming out party, it wasn't a fluke. Everyone thought it was a fluke week 1. He backed it up in week 2 with even more points. So look at that. Let's see how that goes. I mean, Jameson Williams is definitely showing out in Detroit. Sam Laporta is not. Sam Laporta, I know people went high on him. Shit, I think somebody in our draft even went 3rd round on Sam Laporta.
He was definitely the
day.
first tight end that was picked off the board, Sam Laporta.
Look,
over Travis Kelce.
I took him second after Kelce, but yeah, in one of our drafts.
And Kelce hasn't done a thing. I think he's caught 5 passes, maybe.
Yeah, what did he have? 32 yards over the weekend, I think.
Nah, he's done. But yeah, no, like Kelce's not doing anything. But yeah, Laporta was on like a do not draft, not entirely, but do not reach. He was more on the do not reach for him.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for a more, get some more, position players, then wait for Laporta. If he's there in the 5th or 6th, yeah, you take a chance on him. But reaching in the 3rd, some maybe end of 2nd round for him, especially your PPR leagues, it's not looking good.
Gentlemen, that so far has been the most disappointing position so far in week 2 in fantasy has been the tight ends. You know who the top tight ends right now? Hunter Henry and Brock Bowers.
Yes.
I got Brock Bowers as a backup on my bench. He's coming up.
Back-to-back weeks of those guys putting up double digits.
Yeah, Bowers was a stud, but Hunter Henry, I haven't heard his name since Phillip Rivers had his 11th child.
By the way, Phillip Rivers, if you ever see this episode, just know that there's a statue of you at the RMPR headquarters.
Yes.
Let's get it, baby.
We're not worthy.
Guys, Colts, Packers. Malik Willis got his start over the injured Jordan Love, and he came out on top, man. 16-10. The Colts 0-2 to start the season, and Anthony Richardson is up to is off to a slow start here, guys. I know he was high on a lot of people's draft boards. It was a close one. They won by a touchdown, but Malik Willis did his thing out there and got the W.
Yeah, no turnovers is huge when you coming in as a backup. No turnovers is huge. 12 of 14. Good efficiency there. But when you have Josh Jacobs running 32 times, they're gonna ground and pound, make sure that they're moving the chains. So that looked good. Jonathan Taylor over 100 yards. No tutties though. So it's gonna come. Any JT drafters. Anthony Richardson after a hot week 1. Crash back down to earth, but he's gonna have more better weeks than not. So it's all good there. But the Packers are good even without Jordan Love, it seems.
How about that defense?
Yeah.
And the big fantasy story so far this year, Alec Pierce, out of nowhere.
Yeah, as a Michael Pittman drafter in every single league, I am pissed. Every single league.
Let it out.
I think even in the RLX league that's inactive, I still drafted him. That's how much I value that guy. So I hope he and Richardson end up connecting, because he connected with pretty much every other quarterback that the Colts have had while Richardson was dealing with his injury last year. But we'll see. But good win for Green Bay.
Big win.
Aaron Rodgers fully relying on these young bucks, all right? He finally got the Jets their first W of the season, 24-17 over the Titans. And the youngest player in the NFL, I think, is currently 20 years old, scored 22 touchdowns for him to get that W, guys. Aaron Rodgers, what do you guys think?
That Braylon Allen stat is amazing to me. The youngest player to score a rushing and a receiving touchdown at 20 years old. Backing up arguably, a top 2 running back as drafted?
Yeah.
2 or 3 at the worst, Breece Hall.
Yeah.
That's impressive to me. To even get carries in that offense behind that guy with the guy slinging the ball like we know he can in Aaron Rodgers, that's impressive to me. That's a good problem to have if you're New York, especially with an aging quarterback, bad Achilles, to have those kind of weapons. Tough to say as a Dolphins fan, but that Jets offense looks pretty solid.
No, absolutely. And Brees Hall had a receiving touchdown too.
Yep.
So it looks like Aaron Rodgers is liking that little combo over there, that little dump off, that little screenplay, that little wheel route. So not so much those deep balls that you used to see with Devontae Adams, but those like nice and intermediate throws, which he's also one of the best at, if not the best at those nice little quick second, third, fourth read offs, the main. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers for a reason.
Raw.
Raw.
Guys, 49ers fall to the Vikings in a close one. Brock Purdy, 319 yards and a touchdown. Sam Darnold, 268, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They both threw picks. And we got a few guys. Jordan Mason remained consistent. Ty Chandler came alive in this one, guys. I like what I saw here. And Deebo Samuel, unfortunately, it came down with an injury today. So we're going to see the start of Brandon Ayuk, perhaps starting to pick up his volume, and George Kittle as well. What do you think about the Niners? You think Brock Purdy still has it to be an elite quarterback?
I don't see him as one of the top elite quarterbacks, because
No, he's not elite.
I mean, you don't fear Brock Purdy. It's just like, oh my God, he's gonna carve you up. No, McCaffrey's gonna carve you up. Debo's gonna carve you up. Kittle might carve you up, but Purdy's just doing his job, and he does it really well. Not great, but I mean, with everybody down, this game had a lot of fantasy implications. Debo out for who knows how long. Brandon Ayuk stock going up. Kittle's stock is also gonna go up. On the other side of the ball, Minnesota, surprise 2-0 team. As far as production-wise, Jettis is out.
No, Jettis should be good. He's
good to go for 3.
But they said he's going to play. I mean, on 4 receptions, 133 yards and a tutty. Like, he's the number 1 wide receiver, in my opinion, for a reason.
Addison is still hurt, right?
Yeah, Addison's still hurt. That guy Jalen Naylor, could be a deep waiver wire pickup.
What about Hawkinson?
No, he's still on IR. He ain't gonna be back for a while, man.
Look at that.
He's out the first 8 weeks of the year.
Look at that.
But how about Sam Darnold? The Niners gave up on him. Carolina gave up on him. The Jets gave up on him. He goes out there, 2-0. Everybody said the Kirk Cousins departure was game over for them. Do they trade Jettas? Do they blow it up? Instead, they go out, take from their division rival, Aaron Jones. Yeah, Ty Chandler had a great game, but we know that offense right now is running through Aaron Jones when he's available. Yeah. And Jettas. That's an impressive win. No Jordan Addison, no nothing. And you go and you beat the NFC. Sorry, Jared, but the NFC favorite right now in the San Francisco 49ers.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
There's no doubt that they're contenders. There's no doubt.
They're the favorite. They're the favorite. We use the word favorite.
The favorite. We'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
For a reason.
We'll see about that, guys.
Let's fast forward to the game.
Anyway, Jason Mayers hit a 31-yard field goal to give the Seahawks a 2-0 start over the Patriots. And I know, Bones, you're thoroughly enjoying the Patriots' life after Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. All right, another loss for the Patriots at home in overtime.
Well, we'll get to the Patriots a little later because they're a sinking ship. I want to talk about the implications that game had. Kenneth Walker out multiple weeks, oblique injury.
Yeah. I've trained in oblique in the gym, man. You don't feel it until you make that one movement and you can't move. Your regular day-to-day movements. You can't.
So look at that. A running back that was definitely taken within the first 3-4 rounds, out multiple weeks. DK Metcalf getting absolute volume. Also, the other wide receiver that's taking Tyler Lockett's place as wide receiver number 2. How do you say his last name?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
That.
No. You're supposed to let him pronounce it. yeah. Hey, but what about Zach Charbonnet?
There you go.
Chardonnay. And he is out there, as delicate as white wine out there, looking good. He is a good backup. It took him some time. He's not a rookie, and it took him some time, but he's He was highly touted in college. He's going to be there, take over Kenneth Walker's mantle, and hopefully produce. I have him on my bench. That's why I need him to produce.
Guys, again, I'd like to repeat that we have our search and rescue party looking for Mr. Xavier Gutierrez somewhere out in New Jersey, somewhere out in Florida. We're looking for you, buddy. Commanders, roll over. Jaden Daniels gets his first win as an NFL professional over the New York Giants, 21-18. Andre, take it away with your Virginia residency.
Austin Seibert, 7 field goals. 7 of 7 field goals.
Unbelievable.
That is incredible. Scoring 21 points, 0 touchdowns scored, 3 touchdowns scored against, and still win the game. It was actually painful to watch. I was out there at a brewery called The Farm. White girls everywhere, having the time of my life. Like, how, you a single mom? Are you a single mom? Everyone's a single mom.
Oh, you didn't know?
You didn't know.
Single mom tattoos? What
is that? Oh my God!
Abandonment
and that great game to watch, man. It was a great game. It was a great finale. The Giants are gonna giant. Xavier, where you at, buddy? We need a chat. Leave me on hold. Got a couple voicemails I need you to hear. But it's good to see the young man Jaden Daniels get his first win. Right, not amazing stats, but pretty accurate, 23 of 29.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. B-Rob, though, Brian Robinson Jr. just demoing people. 17 carries, 133 yards. Bro, after he got shot, I might get shot if I'm putting up those numbers. I don't mind. Someone shoot me if I'll put a 315 bench tomorrow.
Justin Herbert gets a W out in Carolina, and Carolina arguably is the worst NFL team we've seen in forever, since I guess the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it was terrible, man. 26-3. Their quarterback is getting benched now. He is a Bryce Young. He's getting benched. Okay, and they're saying that he could arguably be one of the worst first round pick busts of all time. I honestly don't think that that's accurate, because you can't top Jamarcus Russell. And for those that are old enough and remember Jamarcus Russell, you got to go do your research on him. He is arguably one of the worst football players in history. But yeah, nonetheless, Chargers up 2-0 to start the season.
I don't agree with that assessment at all about Bryce Young. I believe this is a front office issue.
Yes.
Carolina has failed him. I mean, what would you expect? When you trade away CMC, when you trade away DJ Moore, when you trade away your best, left tackle, who, by the way, is supposed to, protect the blind side of the quarterback. There is no structure in Carolina. I do not blame Bryce Young. It's a shame. I hope the young man keeps his confidence up. All you can do is just study the playbook and be ready when your name is called. That being said, this isn't a sentiment league. This is a fantasy league. And stock going up would be Adam Thielen and Xavier Leggett, the rookie wide receiver. Why? Because Andy Dalton is a sharpshooter. He may be a ginger, right? But he's a sharpshooter through and through, right? Let's not forget. Let's not forget that he gave AJ Green a great career, as his main thrower. So, for any one of you guys out there that may be looking for a receiver, you may be a little bit banged up, take a little chance on Xavier Leggett or Adam Thielen, because they might surprise everybody. Come up week 3. Aside from that, I don't think this game on either side had any more fantasy implications, unless I'm missing something, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
No,
fantasy-wise, no. But is this the worst trade that we've seen in a very long time?
Absolutely.
100%. One of the worst trades ever.
Absolutely, from top to bottom. When you do a diagram and you put what Chicago got versus what Carolina got, it is on paper the worst trade in NFL history.
I mean, this is a bad look for Carolina. You've run how many coaches out in the last 5 years? Is it 3, 4, 5? I'm blanking off the top of my head, but it's not far-fetched to say they've had 4 head coaches in the last 5 years.
Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. They were the problem in Carolina.
Yep.
Look at them now. flourishing.
That's what we're saying. That's why we agree with your assessment. It's not, you can't just throw this all on Bryce Young. It's not just his fault. It starts from the front office to the coaching staff to just the atmosphere in that locker room. There's no confidence, and that can kill a young man's career. So hopefully they turn it around and just I don't know, clean house.
Does it have to do with the owner? The bad reputation, nobody wants to play for him.
Really?
Yeah.
It could be everything. It could be everything, honestly. Bad coaching staff, bad front office, bad play calling. The fan base is disgruntled. Nobody's showing up to the games.
Nope.
I think the NFL any day now is going to hand them a warning because they're not generating the revenue and attention that they're supposed to be generating.
No.
Right. And it's kind of embarrassing to show a professional team on TV with no audience. You know what I mean? It's not the XFL, which we all know have plenty of players that they can choose from. So moving along, guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars 0-2 start. The hell's going on over there, man? Trevor Lawrence isn't doing jack.
Sunshine may be more of a bust than we would like to admit. Maybe we fell in love with the 6'6", blonde hair, blue-eyed, cannon arm quarterback from Clemson that won the national championship.
I know you did. I know you did.
Come on, Jerry. Come on. We know you like them blonde, blue-eyed. Let's not talk about that here. Clemson now. Trevor Lawrence.
I'm a fan. I think this is the Urban Meyer effect.
I mean, look, it's, people love to talk, about bust here, bust there, but I'm willing to start saying it. Trevor Lawrence is not looking like it. And he has talent around him.
He does.
He has talent,
what about
that
Doug
cannot
Peterson?
be used as an excuse.
What about Doug Peterson, who hasn't been able to develop a quarterback in the history of his head coaching career?
Ooh.
And that is something that I can speak on there because he is the former starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles right after Dan Marino retired and right when they drafted Donovan McNabb. So he's a true blue quarterback career, all right? And he's never been able to develop a QB. In Philadelphia, he got saved by Nick Foles.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It was a whole team effort. I'm not discounting his coaching ability because he does come from that Andy Reid coaching tree, which we all know is a very successful coaching tree. He's developed so many successful head coaches throughout the years. Hey, man, it might not be a good fit. It's either the coaching or Trevor Lawrence. But since Trevor Lawrence has been in the league, we have not seen anything stupendous, all right? He got a brand new quarterback, and I think that he should start producing more than what he is. He was able to throw 200 yards, but he didn't produce a single touchdown, and that's not what a quarterback is supposed to be doing.
And is Etienne the biggest touchdown vulture in fantasy football history since Latavius Murray?
Quite possibly.
I mean, he was drafted. His ADP was around that second round. So, if you have him and you're getting a TD, you're getting points from those touchdowns because it ain't from the yards.
Nope. No efficiency, no nothing.
It ain't from the receptions either. So.
Nope.
That running back Bigsby taking away his carries, taking away yards.
Bigsby got hurt, so ETN might see an increased workload, but they're capping him around 15, 16 total touches a game.
To be honest, I don't really see too much. There's just down stock all over on both sides of this game when it comes to fantasy.
Do we even bring up Deshaun Watson yet? Do we have to?
I don't think we have to. I mean, what is there
about that? We don't gotta go there. Amari Cooper, though, letting people down.
That's because of Deshaun Watson. He's not doing jack.
Nah. Look, he dropped one touchdown, for sure touchdown in week 1, and he dropped 3 passes in week 2. All 4 of those catches were wide open. Something going on down there. And Njoku was supposed to have a breakout season too. Nothing.
Same thing like back at the U. He'd have these great games. And then you wouldn't see him for 2 weeks. He'd get hurt.
I mean, let's see, man. I mean, fantasy-wise, this game, no implications. Next.
You could be a physical specimen. You can have all these stats, but you got to be on the field.
And guys, moving along here, my Las Vegas West Coast team, Las Vegas Raiders hand the 0-2 L to the Baltimore Ravens to start the season. Gardner Minshew, 276 yards. The former Eagle, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And it was a hell of a performance, as you would expect from Gardner Minshew, man. I love the guy. Lamar Jackson, 247, a touchdown and a pick. Not that much different from Gardner Minshew, to be honest. But Las Vegas hung in there, had a lot of heart. Devontae Adams, over 100 yards and a touchdown. And Brock Bowers, man, came right through clutch. He is a high-performing tight end right now to start the season. As we know, a lot of tight ends right now are not doing very much in fantasy. And it's very disappointing start of the season. What do you guys think about Vegas, guys? You think they could do it with Gardner Minshew?
If Bowers keeps doing this, Devontae Adams keeps doing this, you could see a fringe playoff team. I don't think Gardner Minshew can lead them to a playoff win or a Super Bowl by any means, but they could have a good year.
Yeah, they could sneak into that last spot into the playoff picture, but like Ryan said, they won't make any noise in the playoffs. Devontae Adams also had a great game, showed flashback of what he could do out there when he gets his opportunities. 9 receptions, 110 yards, a touchdown. Brock Bowers balling out. Zamir White, who's supposed to be their starting running back, is horrible. He was on a do not draft list, and goes to show there.
Showing.
Derrick Henry balling out though, so you're
as usual.
Your who's who. Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry, they're balling out. Zay Flowers is continuing to impress from somebody that was kind of hating, saying Lamar doesn't throw the ball. He only likes Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews definitely a better performance, but nowhere near to what he was producing last year.
Another disappointment, goddammit. Throw the ball
guys, the more important part of the topic, Lamar 0-2 start after getting a bunch of money. The time is ticking in Baltimore, and somebody's gonna get dealt. Could be the head coach, could be Lamar Jackson. We'll have to tune in and find out. The LA Rams, Arizona Cardinals come out on top, 41-10. Marvin Harrison Jr. finally goes off, guys. All right, what a day for the young fellow. The son of a legend, Marvin Harrison Sr., as we all grew up watching. What a day, man. I like to see Kyler Murray in the zone. They took advantage of a struggling LA Rams team that's plagued by injury right now. And they look good out there, man.
I don't want to say it's more Marvin Harrison, coming out, because I saw the week 1 highlights of the Cardinals, and he was open all the time. It was Kyler Murray. Finally, Kyler Murray decided to put down his PlayStation 4 and decided to actually pick up the playbook and find out what the fuck he's supposed to do on NFL Sunday. Play real life Madden. Something we would all love to do, Kyler, instead of fucking, buying Surge, Pizza Hut, and PlayStation. But anyway,
don't forget Mountain Dew Code Red. All right, baby. Mountain Dew Code Red.
Code Red, baby.
Code Red. And Black Ops, the new COD coming out right after week 8. So if he plays hot that week 8, you better deal him right then and there.
So if you don't chew Big Red, fuck you.
How about
historically
the
it's been proven
to Pittsburgh James Conner back here?
Hey, respect on James Conner.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Looking good. Shredding
healthy, looking good.
Fumbled at the 2-yard line.
Hey, the Trey McBride owners in this dead tight end season are thanking their lucky stars.
Oh my God,
for that touchdown right there.
I hated that shit because my cousin had him, and I'm like, no, how?
Yep, I played against him in one of our Raw leagues this week, Olave Garden. Yeah.
Chris, Caesar, if you're seeing this, I wish the worst upon you, cousin. The worst.
We'll have Caesar on back again. If you like to check out our episode with Caesar on episode 41, make sure you check us out in our YouTube channel here. Guys, Steelers, smash the Broncos. And I was actually in Denver for this one. They have so many Steelers fans out there, man. 13-6, 2-0 for Justin Fields to start the season. And Russell Wilson looking like he's staying on the bench, fellas.
Snooze fest. This game sucked. What are we talking about here?
Rough game, high altitude, but Justin Fields just keeps winning ball games.
Yeah.
You can't bring Russ in at this point. If I'm Pittsburgh, which, by the way, Jerry, it's funny you mentioned that. As a former Dolphin season ticket holder, that might be one of the best traveling fan bases up there with Buffalo and your Eagles.
Yup.
That travels very, very well.
Yeah, the terrible
I felt like a celebrity.
Exactly.
I got so much
They're
love out there.
And it's nauseating. Okay?
Yes,
But I mean, if
Fucking
I'm Pittsburgh right now,
Pennsylvanians.
I'm calling up the Dolphins and trying to get something for Russ.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad
You signed him for
idea.
$1 million or
Yo,
whatever it was.
Ryan,
Like,
what did you
talking
just
something
say?
stupid
You
here.
made Anthony take off his mask right then and there. Look at him shining those
He's
crooked
salivating
teeth.
at the mouth.
Have
Look
you
at
guys
him.
seen, have you guys seen Harold and Kumar Part 2 when they're talking to George Bush and he goes, "You just blew my fucking mind." Yo, because honestly, I'm here thinking, okay, there's nobody we can trade out there for. It's going to be the free agent market if it's long term. But I did not think about Russell Wilson whatsoever. You know what it is? Is that Sierra isn't praying hard enough for Russell. That's what it is. That's what's going on there.
I think he's too busy trying to be Future's kid's dad, but you know,
Baby
maybe if you put a little separation between them, he'll be all right.
Baby Future. Hey, Russell Wilson
I
to
think
the
if you
Dolphins.
send Russell Wilson to Miami,
Russell
he's gonna
Wilson
leave Christianity behind. You're gonna see him throwing dollar bills at Tootsies
Russell Wilson to the
Saturday
Dolphins.
night.
Facts.
Saturday
The Dolphins. Russell Wilson, make it happen, Bones.
I don't know, Ryan. What are you doing? God damn it. Who invited the Jew to the chat? Shit.
You know,
Guys, Patty Mahomes does it again. 2-0, 26-25. Isaiah Pacheco going down with a season-ending injury.
Ooh.
Will Patty Mahomes continue to get it done? They are undefeated right now.
Ray Rice suspension coming soon.
It was a rough game for the Bengals, man. Like they started kind of hitting their stride. Joe Burrow he threw 36 times. You know, questions about that wrist throwing 36 times. That's a lot in a football game, in a professional football game. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You know, Jamar Chase out there still not quite there yet. All that time off. Whether you call it holding out, holding in, holding on, just hold on, we're going home, whatever you want to call it, he's not producing yet for players like myself that drafted him in the first round. But Patty Mahomes does what Patty Mahomes does, man, and so do the refs.
thank you.
So do the refs to help them with. Okay, yeah, sure, it was kind of it was a defensive DPI, right? Maybe,
it's so obvious at this point.
But come on, man! Like it's got to stop.
We're talking 16 on 11 every week.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that, man. I mean, if it was a small sample size once in a while, sure. But I think it's every week they get bailed out. Travis Kelce nowhere to be found. He's so enthralled by Taylor Swift out there. He's just looking up at the box and not looking at the ball.
Yeah.
The Taylor Swift effect, baby.
Orlando Brown, the former Chief, getting called for, what was it, 2 holding penalties on 2 big plays on the same thing that he was doing last year with Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about a switch of a jersey to a total switch of the way you call the game for this guy.
No.
I mean,
it's got to be investigated, Primo. We need Diddy's lawyers on it.
Guys, the Houston Texans over the Chicago Bears, as I knew it. Caleb Williams maintaining his manicure, pedicure. And in my opinion, she have 2 losses already. All right. This guy cannot get his stats up. After 2 games, the Bears are 1-1. The Texans start the season at 2-0. CJ Stroud once again came to ball. You know, he's one of my favorites, and I know that the Texan roster is coming through for a lot of fantasy owners right now.
Nico Collins, baby.
Thank you. Nico Collins right now is showing the world that Stephon Diggs trade was just all on paper. Don't get me wrong, Diggs had a good first week, caught a couple touchdowns. Yeah. But the athleticism Collins is showing, he's the number 1 receiver there right now.
It's giving, they did like a little montage or a little homage to Andre Johnson, and I'm looking at Andre Johnson out there catching from Matt Shaw back in the days, and I'm like, damn, he's got that same build, that same strength, that same get off me attitude. It looks amazing. From the U, of course, one of the best college teams, if not the best college team ever. But that was great to watch. Joe Mixon, went down. Cam Akers also, fumbled the ball. Tank Dell, not yet, back on his feet, got his legs under him, but he was producing near the end of the season before he got injured last year. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams, stop painting your nails, man. Focus on football. But that O-line, man, is just atrocious. You can't blame the young man if he can't stay upright for more than 1.5 seconds. The Bears O-line is terrible.
Is it all the O-line, or is the Texans D-line a legitimate
They're
top
legit.
5
They're legit.
rushing attack?
Yeah.
I mean, Will Anderson, they traded up right behind the Stroud pick to pick Will Anderson out of Bama. I mean, that pick's looking great right now. They got a good secondary. Derek Stingley back there.
Stingley's good.
You know, I mean, just got paid. What was it, 2 seasons ago? Looking like a premier corner.
Yeah.
That team to me is a legitimate. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe there was a little bit of overhype on them heading into the season. I can't say that now.
No, they're definitely on my later in the segment. They're definitely on my contender list for a championship.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna bring it up a little later because there's a topic that I want to touch regarding these teams, but you're right. I'll have my moment later on the contender topic. But yeah, you know, oh, by the way, Rolando P. Gutierrez. Thank you for accepting the trade for Tank Dell and DK Metcalf. I appreciate you, my good sir. I appreciate the league for trying to vote no against it.
All right, that's enough. Jerry, go ahead, take it away.
The gods will.
Listen, if you don't stop right there, buddy, I'm gonna slap you with some tampering penalties, bro. Anyhow, moving on, guys. Falcons, Eagles, guys. And I know this is the moment you've been waiting for. I cannot believe that they dropped the ball on this one. And I mean, literally, Saquon Barkley dropping the easiest pass from Jalen Hurts to secure the win. It did not happen. All right. They missed out on 2 field goals in the first half that they decided for some strange reason not to take. The Eagles defense was completely atrocious in the last 2 minutes. And it's crazy because right before they blew it, they put up on a stat. Last year, they lost 4 games within the last 2 minutes while leading. Okay, so sure enough, the defense was not able to hold up on 3 to 4 easy plays, and they gave up the lead. And that's not to mention Jalen Hurts forcing a pass in double coverage while having a timeout left during the last few seconds of the game. And we could have gotten the W, guys, if we got in field goal range. But unfortunately, I got to let them have it, guys. Jalen Hurts, the whole Eagles team, the whole coaching staff, you guys got to have it. It's donkey of the day for y'all, all right? As a disgruntled Eagles fan right now, man, you guys got to play better, man. This is a terrible, terrible performance, Andre. I'm going to give it to you for the rest of the massacre here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't watch the game. I fell asleep early. I had an early gym sesh this morning. Right, so what I woke up to wasn't the score, wasn't the results. It was the memes, like as aforementioned. It was the memes of Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, you know, with his Giants tendencies, missing the ball. Nick Sirianni with his crying right at the beginning of the national anthem. But this time it's well deserved because Nick Sirianni. I blame that game not on Saquon missing it. I blame that on the head coach. That is just very poorly managed game. Game management was terrible. You know, Saquon Barkley is a stud, but it doesn't come down to one play. It was all of the decisions that led up to that moment. And you put that on the head coach. I don't want to go in too deep on the topic because Jerry, I could see the tears flowing right here. So I know you'll edit that later. But the Falcons, man, they got their first win under the Kirk Cousins era out there in Atlanta. Good to see them get a win.
Big Turco. Look, Jerry, as I can speak for Ryan when it comes to this, as Dolphin fans, for you as an Eagles fan, welcome to the Vic Fangio experience.
Yes.
Have fun, my friend.
Yep. He benches the Georgia kid that you guys stole in the draft last year for the second half. I mean,
that should have been Howard. But anywho, welcome to the Vic Fangio experience, my friend. Soft shell defense in the last 2 minutes. No blitzing. You know, no pressure whatsoever.
Prevent doesn't prevent.
Idiot. He needs to be put on the hot seat. Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat, low key. I promise you he's on the hot seat because him and Jalen Hurts are having way too many differences. And if they don't start producing W's, Jeffrey Lurie's gonna get rid of him, man. So he's
Hey,
on the
man,
hot seat because they're not getting rid of Jalen Hurts.
Nah, I think they'll get rid of Vic Fangio first, bro. They got to get rid of him, man. They won't fire Sirianni just yet, but it'll start with Fangio. He's terrible.
Listen, guys, this brings us to the last part of our show. Top 5 contenders, pretenders. Ryan, I'll let you have the first pick here, buddy.
My top contender this year, I got to go back to the Texans right now. I think they might be the most complete team looking after 2 weeks. I think right now they're the most impressive 2-0 that I've seen this year. And I think another contender out of the AFC is the 0-2 Baltimore Ravens, no matter what you might say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 tough losses against 2 AFC West teams. One you can kind of understand against the Chiefs on opening night, but this game over the weekend against the Raiders, you kind of can't defend it, but I'm willing to give them a pass because Harbaugh has been nothing but successful, taking teams to the playoffs. I don't see anybody in that division, with the way the Bengals are playing. I mean, unless the real Slim Shady stands up in Cincinnati and goes back to form from a couple years ago, I can't see anybody stopping them from making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And with that defense, with the 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson, it's tough to kind of bet against a team like that. Now in the NFC, I think it's 2 teams. I think it's San Francisco. I think it's your Eagles. No matter what the coaching issues are, the talent's there. If A.J. Brown comes back, I mean, you guys should be there as well. Dallas looks like nothing but pretenders to me. Yeah. I mean, as per usual, Dak, the most overpriced quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. Trevor Lawrence at least has some potential, but Dak just, I don't see much there. You just paid him. You just paid CD. Micah Parsons, what are you going to do with him? He's got to be gone after the year. You can't afford him. That would take up what? I think 60% of their salary cap if they sign all 3 of them to what they deserve.
Damn shame.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of disappointing teams so far this year. I think that those 4 teams that I mentioned as contenders are going to be there at the end. I don't see Buffalo there. I mean, there's just not much stopping that from being your AFC and NFC championship games, in my opinion.
I have to say the Texans and the Lions, but I wanted to ask these other gentlemen what their thoughts on this that I'm about to say, Ryan. When the Dolphins traded Laramie Tunsil to the Houston Texans for a bounty. A bounty. What was it? 4 first-rounders?
Yeah, 4 first-rounders.
4 first-rounders, 3 second-rounders, and a player. No. It was,
and we got rid of Kenny Stills.
4 firsts, 3 twos, and 1 3, and a player. It was ridiculous.
It was a 1 2 4 7 6.
Well, anyways. So a lot of us thought that, the Dolphins, we finessed them. The Dolphins rebuild was going to be quick, efficient. We were going to shoot for the stars because we had a treasure. We had a treasure cove of picks. But isn't it ironic that the Texans rebuild has gone faster and smoother? And actually, within this 4-year period, they actually have a playoff win, and the Dolphins do not. With a younger quarterback who's still on a rookie deal, with a superstar wide receiver who's still on a rookie deal, who the only expensive player on that roster is Laramie Tunsil, the man that started all of this. It's a damn shame.
Yep. That's what happens when you draft a quarterback.
I'm glad for the Texans. They look legit. They're a strong team, great O-line, great D-line. Offense young, ready to go for years to come. And to me, it's still the Detroit Lions. It's all about the trenches. And the Lions have, I believe, the best offensive line in the NFC because I believe the 49ers are just exhausted. They look exhausted, truly exhausted. How many championship games have they been to in the last 5 years? 4, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 2 losses, same core. I don't see it. I don't see it for them this year. I see it for the Niners. I mean, I see it for the Lions. Lions and Texans. Thus far.
That's fine. I mean, I think it's a consensus with all of us here saying the Texans out there, right? I mean, after a tough loss in the divisional to, the Ravens and such, CJ Stroud is hungry. He wants to get back in the playoffs and he wants to prove his point, right? He has those that three-headed monster, Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. Hopefully, produces, and with a very seasoned vet at running back in Joe Mixon, right? That defense that Ryan was alluding to earlier, I think they are the most complete team. Besides them, I have to put the Chiefs in there just because of Patrick Mahomes and the refs. I mean the defense. Hopefully wins them some games. And Ravens 0-2, yes, but John Harbaugh, that team is going to bounce back, no doubt about that. I'm going to stick a team in there as a contender, and this is the dark horse.
Dolphins.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers with
Baker,
Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. I don't whether you want to hate on it or not.
Is he the greatest Buck of all time?
He has to be. He has to be. Right? And there's some great ones
Derek
there.
Brooks.
There's a Warren Sapp. You got some great names out there, right? But he's what he's doing, still doing at his age, consecutive years, undeniable Hall of Famer, first ballot. Baker Mayfield found his home. He's playing the style of football that we all expected him to play. The style of football.
How's Cleveland feel about that one, by the way? You go out, you pay Watson, you alienate him.
Cleveland's hurting. They put him in a system that didn't work for him. He couldn't thrive on that. I mean, if you set someone up for failure, and you expect success, it's not going to happen. So
Still won a playoff game, by the way.
Baker's doing Baker things, man. I like it. I like it out there. You did bring up the Bengals. You said the Ravens. You don't see the Ravens winning that, winning out there, or the AFC, unless Joe Shiesty comes back, unless Slim Shady comes back, and I'm heavy on that unless, because I think he did find his stride throwing the ball over 30 times. He looks good. Just need to get T. Higgins back, and I think they can do damage out there. Those are my 5 right there.
All right, guys, and that pretty much brings us to the end of our show here. And thank you for joining us on episode 42. I'd like to thank our guest here, Ryan from the College Football League.
Yes,
good luck to you this season and the RFS as the Rookie of the Year projected. All right, I don't think we have any other rookies in the league right now, but you've been doing a great job so far. And guys, good luck to you. We'll be back next week with a special guest, Mr. Rolando Gutierrez, Poto League Hall of Famer. Before we get out of here, guys, make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button. Hit us up on Instagram at Raw Fantasy Sports. All right, we'll be back on episode 43 of the Raw Report. And guys, before we get out of here, any final thoughts?
Hit them waivers, boys. Hit them waivers. Wake up at 3:23 a.m. Hit them waivers.
Send trades. Send trades.
Send trades. Send help. Send help. IR crazy.
We need more IR spots, Jerry.
Elon Musk buying the Dolphins.
We need next season 5 IR spots per team minimum.
All righty, guys. I'll see you on the next episode.
Later,
Peace.
boys.
Thanks for having me, guys.